Ahoy guys, and welcome back once again to I Like Watches. The end of the current AliExpress sale is fast approaching, and as promised in my previous video, in this video I'm going to show you two new releases by St. Martin, and they rocked up just in time for me to show you before the current sale ends. Now I can tell you one of them stopped me in my tracks earlier when I unboxed it in preparation for this video. I did a double take, a bit of a brain fart, my brain shut down, it then rebooted, and I then spent the next 10 minutes getting my head around what I was looking at. It's like nothing else I've ever seen before. And of course that's going to be the watch I show you in the second half of the video. I'm going to make you wait, I'm afraid. I'm going to show you both watches though in a decent amount of detail. I'll run through some of the facts, figures, stats and specifications, and then hopefully at the end of this video you'll know whether or not they are green thumbs up or red thumbs down. As usual, I'll be putting some affiliate links in the video description. These two watches were also sent for free, and in the video description you'll see details of 3 extra watches that St. Martin have told me are heavily discounted, so they've asked me to point them out to you, so I'm just going to put the links in the video description so you can check them out for yourselves. And please guys, don't forget that if you live in Europe, you may be able to benefit from having watches sent to you by St. Martin directly from a European warehouse. I do see comments quite often from people saying, I'm sick and tired of waiting 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks for watches from China. Well, a lot of the watches from AliExpress are actually sent to you if you live in Europe from a warehouse within Europe. So import duty is already paid and they get to you, well, within a week or so. So yeah, look out for that option, guys, in AliExpress. And I'm wearing the Seiko 5KX GMT because we are almost at 21,000 subscribers on I Like Watches. And as soon as we hit that milestone, I'll be doing a mini review of this watch, because up to now I've only unboxed it and shared with you my first impressions, and then I will be letting the random comment picker pick someone from the comment section of the launch video for that giveaway to give this watch to. So make sure you look out for that, guys. Right, that was a long intro. I'm sorry. Let's crack on, shall we? The first watch is a pilot's watch. This is the SN033, and you can pick it up from the St. Martin official store. In the sale, well, I was offered it for $165 US. It looks like they're offering you a flat $20 discount code with this watch. No $3 off for every $30 spent or anything like that. Literally $20 off in the sale. There's 4 options, a Type A and a Type B dial option, and each one comes on either a leather strap or an all stainless steel bracelet. And inside this watch you'll find the YN55a automatic movement. It's made by Seiko Epson and often used in Orient watches. It beats at 21,600 beats per hour, hacks and hand winds. Right, and there it is. I don't plan to run through every single specification in this video, but what I will do is I will put a full and comprehensive list in the video description. I've got 2 watches to get through, and if I give you every single specification on both watches, oh, the video will just be too long, won't it? So yeah, let's get the calipers and run through some basic dimensions. Diameter is 38.5, thickness is 12, case length is roughly 48, and the lug width is 20 millimeters. Set up for my 7¼ inch-ish wrist, it now weighs 122 grams. And the crystal is Sapphire Crystal. It is a piece of double-domed sapphire crystal with blue AR coating. Screw down case back and a screw down crown, giving the watch 100 meters of water resistance. Construction is predominantly stainless steel. Case back, crown, interesting bezel, the bracelet and the clasp, all stainless steel. Solid end links, solid links, screw pins, fully brushed bracelet look, and a milled clasp. We've got the smaller outer shell on this one with 2 micro adjusts. If you want the longer outer shell and you're going to order this watch, then perhaps contact them on AliExpress and let them know. They may be able to swap this clasp out for you. Milled clasp, double pushers, no safety latch, signed with an applied logo, some high polished accents there, look very nice. Right, let's check out the Lume, giving it a quick boost with the UV torch so we can see it in all its glory, and there it is, C3 applied directly to the dial. The hands look pretty decent. Yeah, looks good. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this dial. It is a Type A pilot's watch, so no logo, no print, nice and simple, super legible. This is a tool watch, but they've actually put a rather interesting bezel on this watch. And I think it's what distinguishes, is the word I'm looking for, this watch to some other watches that look very similar, the SN034 range. Yeah, there's a lot of shared components. That SN034 range has a decent number of watches in it. This is an SN033, and I think yeah, the main difference being that rather detailed coin edge bezel look. And here it is on my 7¼ inch-ish wrist. A lovely size, lovely dimensions, great weight distribution with that bracelet being solid stainless steel and that clasp having milled inner elements. Yeah, looks quite similar to some of their other SN034 watches. A beautiful piece of crystal on this one though. It's huge. Lovely and clear at a tight angle. And yeah, that bezel definitely giving this watch a slightly different look. Let me know, guys, what you think in the comments section. Right, let's move on now to watch number 2. This is the SN069. Again, you can pick it up from the San Martin official store. I'm able to buy this watch in the sale for $207 US. That is the all stainless steel watch with $18 off because of my AliExpress discount code, which AliExpress have offered me, and also $9 off because of the $3 off for every $30 spent. There are 2 options with this watch, and as you can see, I've been sent the watch on the all stainless steel bracelet. Like the other watch, it contains the YN55 Seiko Epson movement, beating at 21,600 beats per hour, hacks and hand winds. Now, why was I stopped in my tracks when I unboxed this watch? Well, it is fully polished, and when I say fully polished, I mean every single surface that you can see when this watch is on your wrist is fully polished. Even the back of the case and the case back is fully polished. In fact, the only brushing is underneath the bracelet, and that will be done for comfort because on a warm and sweaty day, a fully polished bracelet will be less comfortable on your wrist. Now, I don't think I've ever seen a fully polished watch, and funnily enough, I have considered polishing a watch and making the whole thing polished myself as a way of sort of practicing. I didn't do it, well, mainly because I'm a bit lazy, but also because I wasn't sure it was going to look right. Now, when I first saw this one, I still wasn't sure if it looked right, but the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm starting to think San Martin have had a moment of genius. Now think about it. How many larger than average, all stainless steel, sort of dressy, sort of sports watches do you see that are fully polished? Not many. And I can actually see this one being quite a popular one. And one of the biggest compliments I can actually give this watch was when I unboxed it. I didn't know how much it was, and I was expecting it to be one of their $350 watches, and it isn't. Not at all. And I thought that because, well, the quality felt good, the polishing seemed good. Polishing is very, very expensive. So in my head, it just had to be one of their more expensive watches, but as it turns out, it really, really isn't. And here it is. I'm going to have to keep that cloth fairly handy, I think, because, wow, I mean, just look at it. It's very shiny, isn't it? Yeah, I really don't think I've ever seen a watch where every single top surface, side surface, well, every surface basically is fully polished, apart from, as you can see there, look, underneath the bracelet, if I can get that into focus. And there it is. There is the underside of the case and the case back. And look at the clasp as well. It's certainly a dressy one, isn't it? And it's not a small one either. Let's get the calipers out and, yeah, take some measurements. Right, let's give you the diameter first. It is bang on 40 millimeters. Nice. Under 12 millimeters thick. Lug to lug, 46 millimeters. 20 mil lug width, tapering down to 16 and back up to 18 at the clasp. Right, now I'm going to protect the polished surfaces with this cloth. So set up for my 7¼ inch-ish wrist. It now weighs 131 grams. And the crystal is Sapphire Crystal. It is a piece of flat sapphire crystal, and there is some blue AR coating look. We have a very shiny screw down case back and a signed screw down crown, giving the watch 100 meters of water resistance. It definitely looks bigger than 40 millimeters, doesn't it? Now look at that dial. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful dial. It's not white, it's a sort of creamy color. It matches the color of the Lume in the applied indices really, really nicely. I've looked at it under macro. I can't see any specks on the dial or under the crystal. It is a good color to hide DNA. We saw recently in one of my videos, didn't we? Black dials are literally the worst for showing DNA that has gotten onto a dial or under a crystal. But yeah, this one looks really, really good. Everything seems to line up well, although the two markers at the 12 o'clock, I'm not sure if it's an optical illusion or not. Are they level? Sometimes they look level and sometimes they don't. Nice applied logo and a framed date window at the 3 o'clock. Simple text above the 6 automatic 100M. Yeah, very nice. Nice hands as well. High polished, as you'd expect. Dual facet hands. Well, they're sort of baton hands, aren't they? And look at that bezel, a sort of coin edge bezel, very prominent feature, as is the case shape. I really didn't like the look of this watch when I saw it on AliExpress, but honestly, the more I'm holding it, looking at it on my wrist, in my hands, it really is growing on me. It really is. One thing I have noticed that isn't fantastic is the finishing on the end of the end links look. And actually when it's on your wrist, you do see sort of down into this area of the end link. So that, well, just not particularly well finished end of the end link is visible, which is a real shame, because the rest of the watch seems to be finished very nicely. It is obviously a massive fingerprint magnet. You are going to need to keep a cloth very handy, maybe some Cape Cod cloths as well. But that is, well, I find it quite therapeutic, to be honest, to sit there and watch a movie and wipe over a bracelet or a case. Yeah, and with this one, there's no brushing to worry about, so you can literally wipe to your heart's content. Every time you scratch it, you just take out a Cape Cod cloth, and as long as it's not too bad, yeah, you should be able to yeah, remove the scratches. Solid end links, solid links, screw pins. Very nice, fully polished 5-link tapering bracelet with semicircular links, look. And the clasp is a little bit different. They've opted for a clasp that they've used on older watches, actually. It's got a more sort of square edge, a corner to the outer shell. Yeah, just look at those fingerprints. And the signature is engraved instead of applied. No safety latch, double pushers, fully milled. Inner elements, the outer shell might be pressed, but it's quite substantial for micro adjusts. Very shiny. Right, let's give the Lume a quick boost so we can see it in all its glory. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. And there it is, some nice BGW9, a decent application by the looks of it. None on the second hand, but there's plenty on the hour and the minute hands. And here it is on my 7¼ inch-ish wrist, and this is where it's going to stay for the rest of the video, because I've wiped it down a number of times and I'm not going to do it anymore. And yeah, while it's on my wrist, I'm not putting finger smudges all over it, am I? This one is going to divide opinion, I think. But honestly, seeing it on my wrist in person, it makes a bit more sense than it does seeing it in the pictures on AliExpress. Well, in the pictures on AliExpress, I didn't even realise it was fully polished. It is obviously going to scratch up very quickly, very easily. But if it's an occasional piece that you wear when you're going out in a suit, maybe, you can keep it in pretty good condition. Yeah, I mean, it's not really an everyday watch anyway, is it? But yeah, honestly, the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm liking it and appreciating what they've offered with this watch. It is quite original in its design, certainly original in terms of the fully polished finish all over. So yeah, some interesting and unusual elements to this watch, a couple of weaknesses, potentially the index at the 12 o'clock slightly misaligned, the finishing on the end links not fantastic. It's fully polished, so obviously some people are going to see that as a negative. But yeah, lots of positives. It's, well, quite original, quite interesting and unusual. On the whole, it's finished very, very nicely. It contains an affordable movement, so it's not one of their $350 watches, which I really did think it would be. Yeah, this one has properly surprised me, I've got to say. And actually, I do think it looks pretty good. I love the colour of that dial, actually. But guys, please do let me know what you think of this watch in the comments section. I really am genuinely looking forward to reading what you've got to say about this one. Because it's one of the most interesting watches. Certainly one of their most interesting original-ish designs I think they've ever released. Certainly makes a statement, doesn't it? Right guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you as always for watching and supporting my channel throughout the sale. I do really, really appreciate it. Please guys, take care, look after yourselves, and you'll see me again very, very soon.